Hello, class. How you doing? My name is Willie Anderson, and I'm an elder in Nehemiah House of Prayer, Praise, and Worship. And this is for assignment 3.3. I initially did this last last semester when I had this class, but I had to drop the class because my mom had passed away, and I was kind of hit kind of hard, so I wasn't in the right state of mind, so I ended up dropping this class. But I really enjoyed this book on this subject matter on immigration, and and the name of the story was God Grew Tired of Us. It was done in 2007, and this was to me this was a good book. I mean, it was a good video, and I enjoyed it a lot. Even though the young men who was in this video, and not just the men, but the whole country went through a civil war, and a lot of young men, a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of children, a lot of old men, a lot of people lost their lives in the civil war. But question number one was, how has the church addressed immigration more as a political topic or as an area of human needs? And do I believe the involvement was appropriate? Well, first of all, I think to a certain degree, for some areas, for some churches, it was political because of the ramifications of it was an international incident, and the church didn't have the power to really go in there and do what they want to do. But on the other hand, I do believe it was a human need that people felt like, hey, these people are hurting over here, and as Christians, it's our job to help them to get through all their hardships. So I do believe it was a human need, and to the extent of the church's involvement, I believe that given the circumstances, I believe the church could have done more. I believe they could have intervened more. It's hard dealing with countries that's going through civil war and interjecting Christianity into a lot of cities countries, especially when a lot of countries are predominantly Muslim, or there's a lot of sectarian violence, or a lot of ethnic cleansing going on. So it's hard for Western Christianity to get involved and go and try to help people in that particular country when it was happening. But once they set up the refugee camps, that's when people was able to get involved and help more. And I think unfortunately, they couldn't save everybody, and they couldn't bring everybody to America or to other countries. But for the most part, once they made it to the refugee camp, even though some people are still in the refugee camps, but at least they was at a harm way as far as being directly involved in the violence against them. So I think the church did a good job getting them from that point and getting them to sanctuary cities in America. And question number two is, how might the North American church benefit from friendship and partnership with immigrants? And yeah, how might the North American church benefit from friendship and partnership with immigrants? Well, I think just for me personally, I've been overseas. I'm an ex-Marine. Well, not an ex-Marine, but I'm a Marine. And I've been overseas to a lot of countries. And the faith that they have over there is unshakable. Just to see the verses that they go through, they had to, a lot of their family members were, getting eaten by, wild animals, crocodiles inside the ocean, inside the Nile, trying to cross over into the various rivers. They was getting eaten by lions. And like I said, I've read this. I've seen this before, and I've read other stories about it. And I read about the Lost Boys and being child soldiers. And I've actually worked with some of these young men in some of the warehouses when I first got to Indianapolis, Indiana. So they're very courageous, but their faith is something that we as Americans, we don't have an idea of. We don't have that. We haven't been tested in that way in a long time. And I believe that if you can partner with these people and build a cohesive relationship, we as American Christians will be able to build our faith up. As far as they say, seeing is doing. If you see somebody doing something, or you can be around the experience, and iron sharpens iron. So if you're around somebody with that type of faith, back in the days in early America, It was a very faith-driven church. I mean, a country. But now the country, slowly but surely, and it's been proven by facts that the younger generation of people are going further and further away from Christ. So, it's just a matter of time that before we end up being a country where we don't know the majority of people don't believe in Christ. And for me, that's a problem, because if you don't have any kind of spiritual upbringing, have any kind of love for God, we'll be a loveless country. So I believe through all the verses that they went through in that country, they faith is the one thing that I believe that partnering up with them, they would be able to, I don't want to say show us, but at the same time they will be able to um, give us an insight into what they believe they faith to be. All right, thank you, and have a great day, and be blessed.